Hello once again, guys. Yeah, there's so much going on. We want to keep you abreast of everything that's going on. It does feel like it just doesn't stop around here.
It really is tiring, but it's important. I feel we need to keep an eye on some of this.
Absolutely. And we got 15 minutes in between people to update you on what's going on. So 15 minutes, let's give you a quick update. Make sure you are subscribed to all three channels again, EEARTS, Evolutionary, and also on the new Hearts Home. Thank you guys for your support on Patreon and Ko-Fi. It does keep us going. So this is another visual on the white balloon that's flying near Hawaii at 40,000 feet. To me, it looks like a replay. Deja vu. Didn't we just see this?
Yeah, it looks kind of similar. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're living in a sci-fi version of Groundhog's Day? Because, that's what's going on right here.
I know. We just, it's kind of weird.
President Biden has warned China of real consequences if President Xi, his buddy that he would always be out there trudging up the Himalayas with, he actually did make reference to something like that in the past. We had covered it. Sends lethal assistance to Russia, according to Secretary Anthony Blinken. He also said no more balloons over American territories, and yet it is balloon.
It's balloon.
It is balloon, and another explosion. Another day, another explosion. This time we have a metal manufacturing plant. Guess where? It's in Ohio. Yeah, Bedford is south of Cleveland, about an hour northwest of East Palestine. And we have called it Palestine. Somebody says Palestine. This is the apocalypse. I'm going to call it whatever I want. And, that's just the way it is. Large plumes of smoke billow from this plant, as you see. Media outlets are calling this a mass casualty incident. I was just, again, telling family members that have been soundly asleep, it is time to wake up. It is time to wake up, guys. This is not last call for alcohol. This is last call to get your preps in place.
Well, I think it's definitely a time to not pick on one another, but help each other up.
Absolutely. At least 10 additional EMS units were called in, numerous burn victims. And people are, I think the average person now is starting to realize that it's not a good idea to go back to sleep. Absolutely. And let's send our prayers out for all those that are in the middle of this situation. So this plant is owned by a company called Schumann, which claims to be producers of high-quality ingots and pellets. They've been in business over 100 years. This is the location, as you could see, south of Cleveland, a little bit southeast of Cleveland, due north of Akron, Ohio. And if you're wondering again what we had going on, there's East Palestine over here. Palestine. What do you guys think? I mean, what are you feeling? Here you go. This again would be a target in a time of war. Why? It's a manufacturing plant. How do you feed war? By, you have to manufacture weapons of war and everything that is involved in getting those weapons of war out to wherever the front is. That includes transportation. So, the type of targets you see in a wartime situation targeted, definitely industry, transportation, anything to do with the supply chain, obviously the food chain as well. This is that company that you can see again. They've been in business since 1917. They make all sorts of metals here. Would this be a target? Oh, yes, that would be a target. GOP House Reps released bombshell reports showing Pelosi staff secretly revised J6 security plans and turned down requests from U.S. CP and House Sergeant at Arms for more funding and National Guard troops. Everything is part of a script. This is so orchestrated. Every little piece so well orchestrated. If you can't smell we're not The Rock, but we're still, cooking this up for you guys. If you can't, catch what's happening, wow, it's just maybe a little bit more coffee. Here you have the Central Bank of Iran will open a new center for exchanging currency and gold. Iran's government recently started selling gold coin certificates to raise cash. Again, in these times, you don't want certificates. You want the actual gold or silver in your hands. They will always be worth something, barter and trade, and they have intrinsic value. Silver is amazing at fighting infections, bacteria. Again, we avoid any sort of FARMA, but in a pinch, we would use nano silver or the like.
Right. I mean, these things are really good for fighting infections, and gold has its own value. It's something that has to do with awakening. It's very conductive, and there's a lot of other things that can be done with it.
Iran's been seeking entry into BRICS. Well, it's already part of the alliance, and this BRICS alliance is going to grow, and some have called it BRICS with two I's and an A at the end, and that A and that I mean, you're going to just keep adding on to it, because now the world is starting to take sides, clear sides. Belarusian President Lukashenko has announced that they will soon begin the creation of a paramilitary territorial defense forces in every town, every city across his country, in order for every citizen to learn how to defend his family and home. I mean, is that not a really sobering thing? Can you imagine if they're, and can you imagine that being in where you're living? Tomorrow, February 21st, 2023, Putin will deliver a message to the Federal Assembly. Our sources told us the approximate content of the speech. With high degree of probability, he will say something during his speech. Sentences will be used in his speech. That is just amazing. Wow, he's going to actually put the words together. Again, we're getting close, as we were talking about some key dates. Big key dates, and we talked about that in the last two videos. Now, all of a sudden, the world is very, very curious, all comedy aside, with what is being said by the leadership, especially by Putin, concerning the dates that we're getting really close to. And again, the anniversary of a key date in the formation of the Soviet Union back in 1918. So that anniversary is coming up. We're coming into the anniversary of this war, this version of the Ukrainian-Russian war. And again, we're coming to a key date, and also the Pluto return of the U.S. And as we've been saying, their ideal script, their ideal scenario is the U.S. going through a revolution and or a divorce. We've actually put titles in videos on both channels, EEARTS and Evolutionary, saying, is a divorce in the making in the United States, a divorce of the states? Marjorie Taylor Greene calls for a national divorce between red states and blue states. This is exactly, they're using the words that we've put out there a long time ago, because, this is all part of the plan. This part hasn't happened as fast as they want. They wanted it to be chaos after the last election cycle, and that there was some chaos, but not to the degree that they wanted. Not just people banging down all the doors of all the political structure across the country. That hasn't happened. So, as you see her, she adds to the tweet, people are absolutely fed up and disgusted with left-wing insanity and disaster for America. Last policies, national divorce is not civil war, but Biden and the neocons are leading us into WW3 while forcing corporate ESG and gender confusion on our kids. Enough. Yeah, I think we're all tired of it. We're beyond tired of it, but we also understand that this is all such a key part in their plan. It truly, truly is. So knowing the plan and knowing what's coming, we should prepare as best as possible. And Obviously, we keep waking up at people everywhere we possibly could. Wake up people in your own family. And, I have to tell you, I have a lot of people in my family, that are, sound asleep. They've been sound asleep at the wheel and they won't look. My own sister won't open up anything I send to her. This is just the reality of it. Now, I think she is starting to realize that maybe her brother wasn't so crazy after all. But it's not about being right. It's about helping each other and recognizing what's going on, because it's going to be very, very challenging. You see scientists calling for World War II style rationing of food, petrol, and energy to accelerate net zero and save the planet from climate change. Yeah, we understand what's coming. The other thing we should take from this is the fact that unless we could get the soldiers to not carry out the orders, it's still maybe a little pie in the sky to hope that's the case, but it's all a matter of awakening. And if we could get them to do that, that would be wonderful. Because, none of us watching this video, and I really think, again, 99% 100% of you guys that watch us on a regular basis, you understand it's not the citizens of Russia's fault. It's not the citizens of China's fault. It's not, the citizens of the U.S.'s fault. We can lay a little bit of blame when we kind of get that feeling like we maybe should have paid a little bit more attention. Maybe it's a little bit of a negligence thing that maybe we could have done more, but, coulda, woulda, shoulda. All we can do is move forward from this time on. And again, wake up the public to what's happening and do whatever you can to prepare for yourself and your loved ones.
Yes. Help pick each other up. Don't pick on other people. Just help pick one another up, and then say what you need to say when you need to say it, because that time is running short.
Yes, and before we let you go for this one, I just wanted to bring this up. Who is responsible, right? We did this video on EEARTS. Now, I knew they were going to really try to keep this one suppressed. We still got 2.2 thousand that they said viewed it, so it might be 5 to 10 times that. And again, this is part of the system. On this and in this video, we do a little prayer, a little positive affirmation to make sure that the universe knows that we don't go along with everything that's going on. And when we put our intention out there and ask for help as a complete planet, then we're more likely to get help in whatever way that manifests.
Right. If you don't ask, you don't get.
Absolutely. Ask and you shall receive. As always, much love. God bless. Namaste.
Namaste.